Remember that car? I still have it, guys. I'm still here. Man, it is good to be back. It has been way too long since I've spoken to you guys, but believe me when I tell you, I have been very busy. For the last almost 2 months since I posted my last video, I did mention that I was going to start a new build on this car. I had a laundry list of parts to do on it, but there's one key thing that I didn't really mention that I wanted to do before I started the build on this car, and that was I wanted to fix this garage. See, I renovated my house about 2 years ago, and when I did it, I did the entire house with the exception of the garage. What ended up happening was, as things started to add up and more things needed my attention and more things needed more money, I eventually ran out of the budget to do the garage. But starting today, I'm about to show you guys the renovation. Now, before I open the doors, I will point out, it's not done. That's why I've been gone for so long. I've been working feverishly to try and get this thing done, and it got to a point where I made one critical mistake, and unfortunately, I have to sand and redo the floors. And I thought to myself, wow, okay, this is gonna take another week to let it cure before I could even drive on it. If I start going down this road, I've got events that I wanted to go to with the car. So, that being said, we're gonna show you the garage. We're gonna start this build, and we're gonna go over the parts that are gonna be going in this guy. So let's open her up. I am so excited to show you guys this. I wish it was 100%, but it's almost there. So, I have done pure epoxy on the entire floors. I used to have a big wooden beam right in the middle here, right in the middle of the garage. Ended up doing 2 steel beams and went right across, opened her right up. Brand new windows, brand new cabinets I'm installing. I'm not there yet. Again, this was like a decision last night where I just said, you know what? I'm probably gonna end up kind of scratching and destroying these floors a little bit anyways when we do the build. So why not just do it now? And then, as you can see, I don't have any baseboards along here. Still working on it. Still got to do them all along here, but I started to put them in where I wanted to put the cabinets, so I got those in at least. But I'm probably gonna have to take the cabinets out, sand the floor, heaters, so I'll be able to do work in here during the winter, which is gonna be awesome. The new windows, much improved, and I've got these awesome lights that are actually kind of like a natural sunlight, so it's nice and bright in here, so when we're filming, when we're working on the car, you guys will be able to see everything. So it's gonna be pretty cool. Now, that all being said, I still have a lot of work to do in here, but I have a ton of parts to show you guys. And I was trying to think to myself, what's gonna be the best way for me to kind of show everyone here what I've got going on? So I thought, no better than doing a kind of cool little reveal. So I won't delay anymore. Let's show you guys all the parts that we have going on this car. I mean, where do I even begin to start to explain this build to everybody here? This is going to be absolutely epic, guys. All right, why don't we start in the front here? Because as you can see, we have a lot of stuff to go over. All right, so the wheels, Apex 18x11s with Nitto NTO1s. 305s. These guys are massive tires. We are running them in all 4 corners. All 4 of them, exact same size. Up at the front, good friend of mine, Dylan, he's actually on his way here now. He actually made this Laguna Seca front splitter. Now the difference with his is he took the original design and he kind of tweaked it just a little bit, made it a little bit wider, a little bit longer, so that's going on the car. We have the Laguna Seca support brace that matches it, a little bit of foam stuff to go with it. JLT's new Series 2 intake, car's currently got a K&N on it, and I will be selling that, so if anyone's interested, let me know. But I'm switching over to this guy. Now, let's get real serious, guys. We have Shelby GT500 15-inch 6-piston brakes with, I believe, power stop slotted rotors. I've got the Ford Racing front hubs with the ARP 3-inch studs, and I'm also got OP Mustang Racing. They're 15 millimeter front spacers. Now the reason I only have to go for 15 millimeter is what we have sitting right next to it. Set of Cortex JRI double adjustable coilovers. Now, I got really lucky with this one, and I happened to run into somebody who was selling these used. These things are crazy expensive brand new. I wasn't planning on doing coilovers in this build, but I couldn't pass up the deal, so I ended up snagging them. I got all 4, so those are going on the car as well. We have coolers, so the new hoses to go with the front brakes, Blowfish Racing's front bracket, and this guy right here is pretty cool. So I'll try and put some links, maybe not so much in this video because I want to get this one out for you guys today, but over the build, I'll actually, as I go over parts in detail, I'll put links to where I found everything. But this is the only front brake duct hose connection for the GT500 rotors. Nobody else makes them for the 15-inch, but I happened to run across the guy who was making these, and they are slick. Welds them out of aluminum, so that takes some skill. Really impressed with that guy. Now, we all know my love-hate relationship with the MT82. So, I have a first generation MGW shifter in the car with the Blowfish Racing bracket. Full disclosure, my opinion, the shifter is great on its own. The Blowfish Racing bracket is probably great on its own or another shifter. But when you combine the two, I get a lot of rattle. So I contacted the guys over at MGW and they hooked me up with this unit. This thing is beautiful. So we've got the pewter stick, matches the center console of the car. Beautiful little stainless steel button on the top with their rubber grip. And this is their race spec shifter. So that's going in. And since I got to change the thermostat on the car to a 170 because for the tune and everything else, and you know, it's obviously much better to have a 170 thermostat, I figured while I'm down there, why not throw in a lightweight water pump pulley from MMR. So I don't know how much it's going to help, but it was only 69 bucks, and I figured, hey, I'm going to have the whole front end of the car apart when I'm doing the intake. Why not just do it all at the same time? So we've got that going on there as well. Ford Racing one-piece drive shaft. I am very much looking forward to this one because the last drag racing I did, I could hear my two-piece slapping up against the body and it's not in good shape. So this guy's going in. I've got a set of over-axle tubes because we are getting rid of the Flowmaster exhaust. We are going to switch it up. We're going to get these guys in, the over-axles. They're going through that guy, and we are finishing it off with a set of GT500 quad tips with the factory valence. Because why not? I kind of like the look of it. I've always wanted it, and I said to myself, that's the setup I'm going to do for that. So I want to keep kind of continuing on, but that's the exhaust. Watson Racing 4-point bolt-in harness in race red. So what I'm going to end up doing is, you guys have probably seen in my other older videos, I do have the Laguna Seca rear seat delete out of a 2012 Boss 302 because the 2012s come with the race red cross brace. 2013s have that silver cross brace. That's going back in the car, and the matching cage is going in to go with it. So that's all going to get bolted in. I don't have the cross brace sitting down here. You guys have seen it. I know you know I have it. It's upstairs. So everything's just been sitting in storage. I've been collecting these parts for like almost 3 months and not telling anyone, you know, except for some friends. So it's just been killing me to show you guys. I really wanted to show everyone. So continuing on, here's the other JRI coilovers, the rears. These are actually singles. So no fault to the gentleman who was selling them to me because he wasn't sure. And even when you look at Cortex's website, the photo for their double adjustables shows these, but these are the single adjustables. And I'll show you how you can tell. When you're looking at this unit right here, you got your adjusters, but on a double adjustable, this is a little bit longer and there's a little cog in here to make the other adjustment. So these are just singles, not a problem. I'm still very happy with the purchase. I have no problems with what I paid to put them in, so no fault, no foul. I'm happy. Still got JRI coilovers for the car. What's unique about the Cortex ones, in case nobody knows, is these go in the factory shock location with some different brackets. You no longer have your spring, which on another coilover would be sitting in its threaded perch in the stock spring location on the axle. It's now outboard out here. So it's a much better setup, much better. I've got the matching rear brakes for the rear, but these are GT500s, so we are doing that. Still keep your factory caliper. They're all the same, but Blowfish Racing relocation brackets. These things are slick. Super light, much lighter than stock, all CNC machined, and of course, Goodrich stainless steel brake lines, all 4 corners. Those are going in as well. Now, I already have a Watts Link in the car. I've got the white line Watts Link in my car. It was in my car when I bought the car, so I've been happy with it. But a friend of mine actually was talking to me about Watts Links and wanted to get some answers to what they were and why they're so great and why they could benefit his car and what's the difference between all the different ones. And I kind of mentioned to him that the white line, in my opinion, because it has polymer bushings, is a really good street Watts Link. It's nice and quiet, you know, it's pretty stiff, but there's still a bit of play in it and deflection. That's what gets rid of a lot of the noise and everything, the vibration you get from one. But if you want to go all out, you'd get a Cortex race track one with spherical bushings. And he's like, well, aren't you building a crazy track car? Would you be interested in buying one of those and selling me yours? I said, you know what? I think I would. So that's what I ended up doing. We ended up getting the Cortex track one. And one of the key things and the reasons I did it was they've got this really slick differential breather that you can add on. So in case you guys have ever wondered, if you get underneath your car, especially after any hard driving, spirited driving, whatever the case may be, you'll notice that that little check valve on the left side is weeping differential fluid all over your tube, and it starts to drip. Now this can be a safety issue when you're out on the track. You could get some differential fluid on your tires or somebody else's tires on the track. So it's kind of a courtesy safety thing to actually get a differential breather on it. Now the challenge is always, where do you put one? Well, Cortex came out with this genius little setup where it actually bolts right there on the actual diff cover. So this guy turns, bolts on there, got a tube that runs over to the breather location, and away you go. You've now actually got a catch can for your differential. So no more bleeding and weeping diff fluid all over the track. So that's going to be really cool. Putting that on, I'm looking forward to that. Now, one of the biggest debates I had with a lot of my buddies was, I'm doing all this stuff, you know, under the car, and you're not really seeing very much visually. I've got the front, you know, we've got the front splitter going on. We've got wheels and tires. Don't get me wrong. Those are definitely big improvements. But I was like, I feel like I'm missing something. So just recently I decided the car kind of is already looking like a Laguna Seca. You got the rear seat delete. You've got the front splitter now. Why not finish it off with the Laguna Seca spoiler? So it's very similar to the California Special. This is an actual Ford OEM one, so it is not one of the replicas. And what was really cool, in case you guys don't know this, is there's 2 part numbers in the Ford catalog. If you order the California Special version of it, it comes primed, ready to get painted. But if you order the Laguna Seca 2013 version, 2013, it will come pre-done in this beautiful satin finish. The satin finish that's already like on the stock car. So this saved me having to get the thing actually painted. So even though it was a little bit more expensive on the part than the replicas, the fact that I didn't have to pay for paint actually makes it about the same. So I'm sure I am forgetting something. There's lots of little bits and pieces and small stuff. I just didn't want to grab everything out. I told you guys I don't have the rear seat delete sitting here, but this is really it. Now, it's all fun to look at all these cool parts and check them all out, but the most difficult task I have over the next couple of days, today's Friday, by the way, so I'm gonna try and upload this today so you guys see it. I gotta start working on this car. That's kind of why I decided, you know what? Why don't we do this now? It's gonna take quite a while to get it done. I've got some track day events, I got some car shows. I mean, I'm halfway through the summer and I haven't even really gotten to enjoy this. So As much as it pains me to not have a finished garage perfect the way I want it, and I don't like leaving things unfinished, this build's got to get started, guys. All right, that's it for today's quick little video. I hope you are as pumped and as excited as I am. I can't believe I've finally done this. I've never had this many parts to put on a car at one time, so I'm super excited. I know it's gonna be painful. I know it's gonna be a lot of long days ahead of me. I'm going to try and video as much of it as I can for you guys, go through everything. If you have questions, please put them down below. And if you're not already subscribing, I think now is a good time to subscribe. All right, guys, thanks. See you next time. Bye.